Kia ora, good morning, welcome to the garden. Okay, yeah, everything's growing here, starting up some seeds. But anyway, I gave my garden, my herb garden, a bit of a haircut, a bit of a prune. It was going too crazy. Pruned it back and reset everything. Wanting to planted some lemongrass in there too, a couple of lemongrasses, and planted some there. I had so much in the garden and pulled them out. Didn't want them to go to waste, so I reset them here. Some in here. Yeah, a few down there. Yeah, anyway, today I wanted to clean up my garden, get it set up for the plants, for the tomatoes and the cucumbers and all the capsicums and stuff like that. Really just taking off in this nice hot weather, and I just leave them out here even throughout the night. Look at those tomatoes, are really growing. They'll be ready to go into the ground probably a couple more weeks. Just waiting for these others to, just mainly cauliflower. I had one cauliflower, we had one big cauliflower that grew. I've still got another few more for it to pop. I expect to be popping in next 7 days or so, next week or so. Then I'll be able to clean these beds out and prep them for my summer plants. But yeah, but I prepped this bed, so I cleaned it up and I put an inch of compost in here. So that's what it looks like. And then I've cleaned this bed out, so I'm gonna put an inch of I'm in the process of putting in an inch of compost in there, and I'll show you that, just especially how rich my compost is. Yeah, so I just pull out all the old plants and do a little bit of weeding. Not much weeds grow in this garden, like, see, that's about like that, and it doesn't even set. The weeds don't even set. They easily pull out easy in compost. Yeah, so, and they're only tiny weeds, and I just chuck them on the ground, or chuck them in their basket, then chuck them back through the compost. Yeah, so this is the compost I've had in here throughout the years. Sorry, I'm using a phone. My GoPro broken. Oh, I mean flat. Yeah, so this is the compost. Eventually it breaks down to that nice rich soil. Soft soil. You can see there's eggshells still breaking down in this. What's that one? It's kinder shell. Urchins. Those of you don't know what that kinder is, that's our local name for urchin. Get out, dog. There's Cody, my daughter's dog. He's visiting with us. But yeah, so eventually all the compost that I've put in here throughout the years, about, I always put a layer of compost pretty much every year on top of this old compost, but it breaks down to that, to real nice soft dirt. Yeah, they say you can only put a layer on every year, but me, I've been just putting a layer in every time I replant the beds. But they say it's not necessary. You can plant into, like, if you put a layer of compost in, you can plant into it two times before you need to put another layer on. But I have so much compost anyway, enough anyway for me, that I put it in every time I replant. Yeah, so, and it's really good. My onions, just letting it go to bulb now. I'm going to leave all those, so see how that goes. Yeah, the broad beans are starting to come through. Quite a few of them here. There's going to be quite a few, you know. And they're all developing. Slowly developing. When I get hundreds, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I've only got one recipe for them at the moment, which is broad bean on toast. But I'm sure I can maybe even freeze it if you need it throughout the year. But yes, waiting for the cauliflowers to come through. I was down at our garden at the school. Man, all the cauliflowers have popped. Yeah, mine ones went in first. I think it's just the sun. Maybe these broad beans are shading these out. I'm not too sure. Well, maybe they just got better soil than me. Yeah, I doubt it though. Anyway, yeah, waiting for these to pop in the next few days. Yeah, let's get some compost into this. So this is my compost that I've been slowly digging it out. It's so rich, my compost. So full of worms. They've all gone down to the bottom. But what I've been doing is just sifting out all the bigger material. So like that, pieces of wood. Always got some kind of rubbish in here. Look, I've got a fishing line in there. I've been putting all that stuff down there and I'll pick it up later. Yeah. It's a bit messy, a bit chunky. Okay, so put the compost in. Here we go. That's what it looks like. Then I'll just spread it out. And any chunky bits, I'll just take it out and leave it on the mulch. Like anything like that, take those out. Some sticks and stuff. Yeah, chuck them on the mulch. Let them break down there. Yeah. This is also used as my own fertilizer. Really good for the free material. All this compost is free material for my property. My grass clippings, all my veggie scraps, or banana tree leaves, maybe some mulch as well. You know, all the garden waste in here, all the garden waste from inside, brown paper, Yeah, everything rots down to this rich material, which I didn't use for my garden. Yeah, and for me, this is the secret to gardening that everybody knows. Obviously, composting, and I truly believe that gardening is not about growing plants, it's about learning to grow soil. And if you figure out the science that's behind growing soil, there's a science, but it's simple science, really just brown and green material, and I just do 50-50 of brown material and green material. Mix those two together, and you get this rich material, which really feeds the plants, which the plants really love, and then they just grow in it. And there it is. It's now ready to be planted into. Yeah, I'll just take out all the rough bits. Yeah, chuck them on the mulch, let them break down more. And that's what this whole, all this stuff here is pretty much compost, breaking down. And I've mulched this garden 4 times now throughout the years, and each time there's over 32 cubic meters of mulch in here at a time, and it goes right to the front. And I hope to turn this whole area into a food forest, and yeah, seriously thinking about mulching this whole area here as well, so I can plant into it, plant tomatoes, and giving me more area planting. So yeah, long way from completing what I want to do here. I want to turn it into a place where you harvest food, not just cut grass. Yeah, so that bed there's ready to be planted. This bed here is ready to be planted. And we've got those 2 beds to harvest and then do the same thing. Get some compost on it. Do a bit of weeding. Yeah, and set it up for harvest. Potatoes are doing well. My first time of growing the roof stout method of growing potatoes. I have grown potatoes in my beds, and I think one bed I got like a big wheelbarrow like that. Actually, it was that wheelbarrow down there, that green one against the garage. Filled that up with potatoes, and that was just out of one bed. So I would have to, this roof stout method has to beat that for me to think if it's worthy. And they were big potatoes too. I harvest them out of these beds. So it's definitely been easier to plant the potatoes. It's no work in comparison to that, but that wasn't much work, really. I mean, it's because my beds were so small, and I still got one wheelbarrow full of potatoes, big potatoes. So really, this has to better that. I don't know, 2 wheelbarrows. I would have to think it have to be a good size for me to say this, whether this has been successful or not successful. Okay. Alright. Go get it. Okay, this is actually the next day. So yeah, just getting ready to plant. Got all my tomato plants out. Put them in. Yeah, so I was thinking planting 3 tomato plants in one hole or into one stake, so I'll put a stake in the middle of these 3 tomatoes. Yeah, just because I'm restricted for space. So really in the garden bed, I think it's about, what's this, probably 1.5 by 1, 2, 3, around about 4. 1.5 by 4 millimeters, is it millimeters? 4 foot, I suppose. Yeah, and I'm restricted to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 plants in here. So last year I planted 2 tomatoes to 1 stake. So that was 16 plants in 1 bed. And that was really successful. I got double the harvest. So this year I thought, oh, yeah, I'll plant 3 tomatoes per stake and get triple the harvest in this, yeah, in this bed. So yeah, I grew all these plants by seed. Yeah, they're quite big now, ready to go in. Yeah, and I'll set this bed up here as well. Some more tomatoes in this bed. So these 2 beds will be the tomato beds. This one and this one here. Half a bed here. So I've got to leave my onions to start putting on heads on them. Yeah. So, and these 2 beds I'll probably put peas, cucumbers, yeah, and whatever else. Got some garlic growing in there. They say garlic and parsley is a good thing to grow with tomatoes. So I've got a lot of parsley growing. So I'll put those in here as well. And I've got some marigolds. So I'll put all the marigolds in here as well, into the tomato plants. With the tomato plants, companion planting, they say. So apparently parsley, oh not parsley, basil, garlic. There was one other, but I forgot what it was. But I definitely will be putting marigold flowers, probably in all the corners of the beds, up there as well. Apparently they're really good and attract good insects to your garden. I've transplanted all these more tomatoes this morning. Roma's Money Maker, Sweet 100, and Gorossi. Yes, I did all that this morning. They were getting root bound. So yeah, more tomatoes. These ones here, I'll put them into the other garden as well. And I need to have some for the school. So I've been thinking of that, what I'm going to do. So hopefully something, figure that out later. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I've got quite a few. What are these? Zucchinis. Got green zucchinis, yellow zucchinis. I've got a lot of cucumbers in here, and probably about 4 pumpkins, which I'll take down to the school. Take the pumpkins because I've already planted 3 up here. Yeah, they're really taking off. It's one of the pumpkins there. I just planted it straight into the mulch, but it's rich underneath. I gave it like a shovel full of some of my compost, homemade compost. And this one here is a zucchini. I planted a zucchini in there. I planted another one over here, but it got eaten. Yeah, funny, eh? One gets eaten and the other one doesn't. That's a gee, I don't know whether there's a zucchini. Yeah, I think that's a zucchini there. And that one there is the pumpkin. And so is the other one, the pumpkin, yeah. So the one back there is a pumpkin. This one here is a pumpkin. And that's a zucchini. But the other zucchini that I planted over here got eaten. Oh, I've got some taro leaves coming up. Really happy with those. Yeah. And here's another pumpkin I planted here. It's really taking off, that one. And another one here. So I just planted it straight into the mulch. And well, dug it up to the soil underneath. And put a shovel full of my compost, homemade compost, into there. There it is. And I hope to spread it all around this area. All around in here. Even if it goes over the feijoa tree, all good. Even if it goes over the apple tree, all good. Yeah, but I'm happy with that zucchini there. So I've got 3 zucchinis planted. Definitely will plant another one, maybe another 2 more here. And then whatever's left over I'll take down to the school. But yeah, I'm really happy with my garlic. Growing. Yeah. Let's have a look at these cauliflowers. Still nothing's developed from these. Oh, there might be one in there. Oh yeah, there's one in here. Just starting. There we go. There's a cauliflower in there. So yeah, next few days these ones here will pop. But yeah, there's another one. So cauliflowers are starting to come through. Look at these beans, are really taking off, starting to pick up. Just beans everywhere. Yeah, there'll be a lot of beans. Looking forward to those. The cabbages are starting to, oh well, they're just all leaves at the moment. Well, might prune back some of these leaves. These ones out here, one thing, you know. Pull out my, yeah, I might do that. Okay. Yeah, we'll come back. Okay, okay. My compost. Filling out one of the beds. Taking out all the sticks. Compost is always rough. You're never going to get a clean compost. You're always going to get stuff that's still not broken down properly. And sometimes you find plastic in here just because I use cardboard. I rip off as much of the plastic I can see, that's like tape, things like that. But sometimes you always miss one and always ends up breaking down on the compost. So, example like that piece of paper there, plastic there. And I picked out a few plastics already, but you just pick them out as you yeah. Rich compost here. So we can see these things moving in there, worms, and that's the richness of compost. These worms are all helping to break the compost down, need all the organic material, and then they poo in here, and it's actually their poos that the roots of plants love. So you get hundreds of worms. See, you got a bit of, looks like tape, and a bit of silver paper or something. I'll just take those out, put them here, and then I'll pick them up later, put them in the compost. I'll put them into the bin. But yeah, so you can see all the worms in here, breaking stuff down, and I'm just sifting it down to taking out all the plastics. There's all the plastics I missed when yeah, see it there. So you're never going to get perfect compost, not like the shop ones, but I'm sure they have to go through all this process. Somebody's paid to do it. Bones. That's all broken down. Leaves, rock, sticks. Hard working with a phone in your hand, and but yeah, this is the rich stuff that goes onto the garden, and it continues to break down like those eggshells. Eggshells take a very long time to break down, but they're a good source of calcium, which the plants really love as well. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Coconut shells, banana leaves, a lot of grass clippings. My grass clippings go here. Coffee grounds. Yeah, ashes, wood ash, potassium. Yeah, all the scientific words. Yeah, but this is it. If you learn how to grow soil, plants grow themselves, and pretty much it's soil. And this will continue. Look, there's what's the avocado seed, and that'll continue to break down in the garden. And yeah, that's the result of planting straight into compost. Then my cabbages are ready to jump out of the garden. All beans are ready to jump out of the garden. They're all developing beans now. Yeah. Cauliflower ready to jump out of the garden. And that's what I've done with the potatoes as well. I just laid a couple of inches of compost on the soil, and then I planted into it. Look at that, crazily. And then I covered it with hay. So I just put the potatoes on top of the compost and then just covered it with hay. And just want to jump out of the ground. But this row here, which is early potatoes, I'll be able to harvest those ones before Christmas. I actually put them into the ground, probably 10 inches into the ground. Dug a hole, 10-inch hole. Yeah, if that, six inches, and then just bury them and then covered it with hay. So 2 experiments, putting it in soil and just putting it on top of the soil and covering it with hay. See what happens. Yeah, I planted my plants. I was going to go for 3 plants in a hole with 1 stake, but I really run out of plants because those ones there, I wanted to take those some down to the school. Yeah. So I just went to 2 tomato plants to 1 stake, and these things here are garlic. Yeah, so 2 plants to one stake, which will still give me heaps of tomatoes. I mean, there's 10 in this little half a bed, and I think there's 16 in this bed. Yeah, that's plenty. Yeah, but I'll do a video later on school garden. Yeah, I'm just prepping this bed. So I've been harvested a couple of cauliflowers out of here and a cabbage. So I'll just put and I buried a lot of food scraps in here, which will be really good. Yeah, heaps of hangi left over and heaps of kai in the fridge. Organic stuff. I had a whole chicken. So I dug up the soil, and that's good. All the worms will come in and eat all that up. And yeah, as I said, we'll excrete, do their castings in here, you know, their poos and stuff like that, which the plants will really love. Yeah, but I'll layer a couple of inches of compost into here, probably a couple of wheelbarrows. Cover this bed, and then when I harvest these plants, I'll be ready to plant probably cucumbers, peas, and zucchinis in these 2 beds anyway. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, cool. Ka kite.